And hold on. All right, I think we're going live with Justin Gordy, the Bassman from Magnolia, Texas. What's up, buddy?
Not a lot, sir. Just trying to stay cool, man. Face is a little
just had your quad. You just had your quad-anniversary, right?
10 years, man.
10 years.
10 years strong. 10 years strong. Yep.
You got any words of wisdom?
Man, just got to get out there and do it. It's not easy, though. I'll tell you that. It's not for the faint of heart, that's for sure.
No, it's not.
But no, we've been doing all right. Just got to stay healthy, take care of yourself, drink lots of water.
Take care of your skin. Hey, your audio is kind of weak.
Is it?
Yeah.
Let me scoot up on the mic a little.
Yeah, okay. So Justin is he's the bass fishing specialist. So you grew up bass fishing, right, in Texas?
I did.
Lake Sam Rayburn?
Yes, sir. That's where I grew up fishing. I wouldn't call it my home lake because I live near Lake Conroe. So Conroe is really my home lake, but I grew up fishing Rayburn, East Texas. It's world-class bass fishing out there, man.
And I'm testing out the comments on the screen. That's pretty cool. Hey, Diva. It's a friend of mine from North Carolina.
I got you.
She's my #1 fan.
That's great.
So after you got injured, how hard or easy was it to get back on the water?
I don't know. I think it was a little easier to get back on the water than it was to get out in the woods. Let's say that. Hunting. We'll have to talk about that on another episode. But there's some stuff out there. There's not a lot out there for fishing, but it's come a long way. There's some new equipment out there. It took me a little while. I used some stuff that was available after I got hurt about 10 years ago. I don't use those products anymore, but there's some good stuff out there. It's just really adapting to you, what works for you, I found that receive all, I use that receive all quite a bit. And it's worked out well for me. I don't know if you can post the video, but it's worked out well.
Just so everybody knows, your level is C6, is that right?
C5, C6.
C5, 6?
Yep.
Okay, so
C5,
when you first
6.
got on the water, you got on your dad's pontoon boat, you were telling me.
Yeah. Dad's
so how do you get on?
I've always fished a pontoon. I've been a bass fisherman since way back, man. But on Rayburn, we drift fish. I grew up fishing a pontoon boat. My grandpa had a pontoon. My dad's always had a pontoon. So it wasn't foreign to me fishing out of a pontoon. I mean, to this day. But we had to do a little modification. My boat's more modified than most. But,
how do you get on it?
So we use so depending on where you launch at, like on Rayburn, you don't have docks on Rayburn. It's all Army Corps of Engineer lake. You won't find very few docks on Rayburn. So you've got to learn how to load from the bank. Essentially, nose that boat up to the bank. We got some individual motorcycle ramps, and they're extendable. So 2 individual extendable motorcycle ramps right off the nose of the boat. It's just a push and roll type of deal. It's pretty simple. But those motorcycle ramps are the best for loading from the bank. If you're on a boat, what's that?
Once you get on the boat, you're good to go. You can go anywhere you want.
Once you're on the boat, you're good to go, man. And you got some real estate on a pontoon boat. I mean, when I got hurt, I had a 21-foot skeeter when I got hurt, but wasn't fishing out of the skeeter effectively.
No, that's
from the
too hard to get around on that.
I sold it and bought me a pontoon. too hard to get
So you
around.
bought
I mean, the console, I couldn't drive it. I want to be on a boat
you
I
bought
can
a
captain.
pontoon boat. What did you do specifically to your boat that helped you out on there?
I bought a project boat. I bought a project boat. It was a used boat, no motor. I bought the boat and the trailer and stripped it down. Every nut and bolt on that sucker I replaced. Put aluminum floor on it. Took the gate off the front. So the front used to come to a point in the nose, right in the nose. In the very middle of the boat, it came to a point. So we took all the railing off of there, extended the deck where it looks more like a barge now. It's a flat nose. So it really opens up the front deck where you can roll on and off very easily. There's no gate. There's nothing. And it gives you about a 4 to 5 foot casting deck on the front of the boat. And that's where I stay.
And you load and unload from the front.
I do most of the time. But like I was mentioning, if you're on a lake with floating docks, really a pontoon boat, you pull it up parallel to a floating dock, it's almost a level a level on and off. I don't use any ramps. If I'm fishing Conroe, there's enough docks you can roll on, not a problem. If you were in a power chair, you might need a little small ramp or something, but not much.
Well, cool. Somebody was asking me earlier after I posted up that we were going to do this interview. They wanted to know how you attach the rod to your hand and how you cast. So I know you're going to explain. You can explain to me what you use, and I'm going to try to go. I'm going to post on Facebook while you're talking about it the link to the actual equipment that you use. So what do you use to fish with?
That's what I use. C5, C6, no fingers. A little Tino Decis, right? I got this. I got none of this. None of this, okay?
Right, no wrist.
None of this. It's all this. But anyway, so the receive all is this piece of equipment right here. So you've probably seen it before. I mean, if not, you can post a link to it. But I've added some padding, and I've also upgraded the straps, okay, because it doesn't come with very robust straps. And you can see that in the video. But essentially, it's going to strap to your arm. I take my glove off. You can plug that gloves for life. I'll be using them the rest of my life.
Yeah.
They're good stuff, good product. But let me strap this thing on and I'll show you.
Okay, I posted the link so people can see it.
It's one there around the back of the wrist and one here around the lower wrist. So it's kind of like this right here. Okay? Yep. One in the back, one in the front. This is it. So it looks kind of like that.
I see.
This part stays on your wrist the whole time. Okay? Now the other part is this little jewel right here. Right? Oh. This little jewel right here is the other part.
That's the part that goes on the rod.
This piece goes on the rod.
Yeah.
You see that little elbow bracket? That little L piece? That's my only complaint about the whole thing. And we're in the process of upgrading that because I keep breaking them. But it's pretty stout. I mean, it really is. But it mates up. Boom. Just like that. You lock it in with this little lever up front.
And that's attached to the rod, so the rod just locks in on the piece on your arm.
Yep. Something like that. See? So it latches in. Now imagine that piece is strapped to your rod. Now it's strapped to your wrist. You want to undo it, just pop it, and it just comes right out. So it's pretty intuitive as far as changing rods. That's what I like about it.
Yeah, I know when you go fishing.
You got to hold that rod a little closer to the butt. And most of your rods that you purchase have a longer handle on there. So you end up having to trim the butt of the rod unless you want to be holding it from way down at the bottom. You don't want that. You want that little adapter piece as close to the reel handle or the reel as you can. So you want to trim that rod. I've cut them, glued them, whatever, and then you can zip tie that piece on there and you're good to go. So it's pretty good stuff. But it could be a little stronger. I was out there today trying to duplicate that piece out of metal. I want to pour it out of aluminum. Try to make an aluminum one.
Well, you know, there's always a way to make things better once you use
custom,
them.
Man. That's what you're gonna find out there. It's customized, and make whatever works for you. You know, work. How do you land the bass and unhook them once caught? So unhooking the bass is kind of an art. I'm going to say the best way is to lay that sucker in your lap. I mean, unfortunately, that's about it. I mean, you might be a little fishy, you might be a little slimy, but if you lay that booger across your lap, and I've used fish grips. Fish grips is pretty good stuff. It's a plastic, like jaw. Hook them right here in the jaw. You can hold them up with that fish grip and try to get your thumb underneath that hook and work that hook out. But typically it's lay them across your lap. You might throw a towel down or, you know, a little apron or something, but
that's exactly what I do. I'll put a towel on my lap.
Throw a towel down, lay them across.
You're working with one hand.
Start doing some dental.
You're working with one hand. You're working with one hand. You got your rod on your other hand.
Yeah, it's the other thing. Your hand's tied up. You know, I'm right-handed, so your left hand's tied up. It's a one-handed operation. But if you can stabilize that fish in your lap and get your thumb in there and try to work it. Plus, you can't let them swallow it. You got to strike them while
the easiest way is to have a Gordy on the boat that could take them off for us.
Hey, deckhands are critical. You know, a good deckhand goes a long way. I'll do the catching, they do the unhooking. You know,
that's right. You need it, and it's never hurts to have an unhooker on board.
That's for sure. That's for sure. And I don't fish alone. I don't fish alone. My wife wouldn't have that. You know, I don't get out on the lake alone. So
it'd be tough to do all that alone.
Yeah, it would be. My wife wouldn't have
two quads, I think, could get it done. I think
we
could do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, 2 quads, we can handle that. No, it's good though. Good to get out there. I mean, right now it's so hot. We're moving into the summertime. A little different pattern, you know. Everything's kind of spawned out, sporadic, moving back out offshore. But that's where I like to. I like to fish anywhere, but I like fishing the spawn. As you know, we hit the brush, you know, and catch them early. But when they move back out deep and you're fishing those flats, when I grew up fishing those pontoon boats, my grandpa didn't have no trolling motor on that boat. I mean, not really. He might have had some bootlegged up there, but it wasn't like we were picking the brush apart. We get out on those open lake flats and drift, rod in each hand, Carolina rig, drifting across them flats. And we caught more fish than, you know, any of them fools running around in them bass boats.
Tell me about your trolling motor system now that you like.
The troll motor system has changed my life, man. The troll motor is a critical piece of equipment for operation. I bought the Terova. It's an auto stow and deploy. It's a Minn Kota product. I run an 80-pound thrust, 24-volt system on my pontoon, and it pulls it around just fine. You know, you could even go bigger if you wanted to, but that 24-volt runs all day. But run it on the remote. I don't have to leave the console. Deploy it. The spot lock is critical, man. No anchor. You don't need a jack with no anchor. You know, get out there, find your spot, hit spot lock, boom, you're within a 5-foot radius, and that troll motor just sits there and does it all. It'll hold you there.
It keeps the boat in the one spot.
Man, and I've been out there in a 20-mile-an-hour wind, and this thing's ginning, buddy.
Yeah, I know that.
It's critical. You don't have to touch it, stoke. And then, I'm up on the nose. I'm driving it with the remote, fishing in one hand, driving it with the remote in the other. It's really intuitive, man. I won't fish without it. It's critical.
Somebody was asking earlier. They wanted to know how you casted, and I'm gonna try to post a video up on here.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work, I'm gonna get it posted up in the comments. But
it's a pitch and a flip, kind of a cross arm type of cast. It's not overhead.
I know it's similar to the way I cast it, so
I got zero triceps, zero back here. So there's no overhead action going on. You got to learn to cast sidearm.
Typically, it's similar to the way I cast it, so I'm going to try to post it up. I'll post it up in the comments, either your video or mine, and that way people can see how both of us do it.
Yeah,
mine's a little different, but
you got to learn how to use what you got to start casting. But I recommend get out in the driveway, get you a hula hoop, throw it out in the driveway, and start practicing. That's all you got to do.
Let's talk offshore. I showed you. I told you I'm going up to Lake Michigan in a couple weeks, and I ordered this rig from Freedom Adaptive Systems. That's going to be more kind of for heavy duty fishing and offshore, because we're gonna go offshore someday. We're going to try this thing out.
Yeah, that's what you need for offshore, man. I mean, you got to get that butt of the rod stabilized in your lap, and then you can just go to crank it on that reel,
I'm going to be posting some video up, but I'm also gonna let me post that Freedom Adaptive System rig so people can see it. It's one of the few that I found that looks like really like it's going to work good for offshore for fighting big fish. Yeah,
that's good stuff. I saw it. Yeah, there you go. It's a good product. It reminds me like a fighting belt, I mean, it's like a souped up fighting belt, but it straps over your shoulders and gives you a lot more control.
Yeah, but I've had one, but I've never had the straps over the shoulder. That's really I might even put it behind my chair back and then come over my shoulder.
You better strap that chair down, bro.
Or somebody can grab onto it.
Yeah, you hook into one of them marlin or something out there, you're gonna be swimming.
We're gonna go out there marlin someday. It's happening.
That'd be good. I'd be down for that. It's got to be slick though, man. We ain't going out there in 4 to 5 foot waves.
Come on, you can handle it. We'll take a bucket.
No, I won't be blowing chunks.
We're gonna be going out of Venice someday, going after tuna.
Yeah, that's a good trip, man. That's another bucket list trip right there. Because you don't have to go as far. The tuna over there come a lot closer inshore. We don't have to run so far.
Right. We're gonna do it but you may have to get a system like I got. I'll let you try it out when I get that Freedom Adaptive System. And
the only thing is if you're using light tackle, like all my rods, when you attach that adapter to them, they're not going to fit in a regular rod holder. Like a typical rod holder. You can't really slide it down in a rod holder.
No, I know. It's going to have to. Plus, whenever you go offshore, you have several rods out anyway. So whichever one the fish gets on, they can just throw that
right.
in the rig.
Set it, set the hook, stab it, go to cranking.
You go to cranking. I noticed you have a golf ball on all your handles. How did you figure that out, and how do you get it on there?
That's an adaptation that I came up with. I used other rubber grips and stuff like that, but essentially I just take a golf ball, put it in my drill press, put you like depending on what handle you're putting it on, but get you about a 1/2 inch or a 3/4 inch paddle bit, and just drill it out with that drill press.
Yeah.
And, even if it's got some slop on that handle, flip it over and I just epoxy it in there. I just epoxy it to the handle.
Right.
And then I've wrapped rubber around it and stuff like that. But with limited finger function, it gives you a little bit more to grab a hold of.
Do you take that existing handle off the reel first, the little end part?
You don't have to.
So you
don't
just
have to
jam it
unless
in there.
it's too big.
You jam it in there and glue it.
Yeah, jam it in there and glue it. But if you got like a big paddle handle or something like that, you can typically pop that little retaining ring off there and slide the plastic part off, leave the shaft if you can, and then you got to drill a much smaller hole in your golf ball and it mates up a little better. You can just slip it on there and glue it.
All right,
but if you can't get the handle off there, drill a bigger hole and just glue and epoxy it in there.
So what's on your bucket list? What do you want to go after besides bass?
Smallmouth, man. I went last year, I went to Missouri, and it rained like cats and dogs, man, for 4 days. I was at Big Cedar Lodge, which is Bass Pro Shop's property, Johnny Moore's property.
Yeah.
Out of it's not far from Branson in Missouri. Beautiful on Table Rock Lake. Had an awesome trip. Had a guide. Went down there. Man, it rained and rained and rained. We had to cancel the guide. I take that back. Our guide took us one day down on the river. We did some trout fishing, but
yeah,
the little trout were tiny, man. It was okay, but I was wanting to get out on Table Rock Lake and find me some bronzebacks, man, some big smallmouth. And it just didn't happen. Didn't pan out. The rain broke one day for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Me and Dad ran down to the marina, rented a boat, went out there, caught like a couple small spotted bass. It just
when you going back? When you gonna go back?
ASAP. I was supposed to go back in June. I was supposed to go back now. The guy told me, he said, man, and June and July is the time to really go.
Yeah. Well, that's perfect.
But it's hot. But that's my bucket list. That's my go-to, man. I want to get on some smallmouth, some big ones. Wow. So, and you can catch them in Texas. We got them up in the hill country. You're not going to catch them on Rayburn or Conroe or Livingston or anywhere around here, really. But you get up in the hill country, you can find some deep water lakes, and there's some spot, smallmouth in Texas, but they're not as common.
It'll be more fun to go to Tennessee.
Tennessee would be good, man. I like the Ozarks.
Yeah.
Find one of those deep water lakes. It's a different technique, man. You got to really know what you're looking for on your graph, and really scan for those spots. But it's going to happen.
All right, brother. Well, I appreciate the interview. I know we packed in a lot of info there real quick.
Let's do it again, man.
But
hopefully next time I'll show you some of my upgrades on the receive all.
Yeah, I want to come see it and try some of that stuff out. And like I said, I'm gonna post some video.
Yeah, we'll swap some equipment, man.
Of you casting and stuff. Maybe
swap some good stories.
Yeah, we'll maybe we'll have some real fishing video up pretty soon.
Do it.
As soon as I get back from Lake Michigan, I'm gonna post some video from up there too. All right, brother.
Yeah, sure. I'll be anxious to check that out.
Thanks for the time. I'll holler at you soon.
You got it. All right, man. Y'all enjoy. Tight lines to you.
Peace.
All right. See ya.